Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ruminations of Redrum. I'm your host, Kyle, with a K. Today, joining me, we have Georgie
Hello.
and Ian without an E.
Mahalo.
Noe. Today, we're talking about The Strangers. Sorry. Today, we're talking about Them 2006, a French-made movie. Let's jump into the logistics, people. Released 2006. I tried to find the budget of the movie in a few places, but it's a little hard to find any information on this movie.
Yeah, I feel like I got to go to a library to find some stuff on this movie. Look in the archives section or something.
I feel you, dude. I was trying to literally hack the planet and find hidden files of this movie, and I couldn't find anything. But I did find the budget eventually. It is $2.35 million.
Whoa.
2.5?
I mean, honestly,
2.35 million.
Looking at the set for that movie, I kind of get that. A little. Not a lot, but a little.
Explain.
I mean, Lucas, is what? An author? A writer, right? How the fuck does he live in that elaborate ass... what is the term
Mansion.
for that type of... Yeah, I guess. Is it a villa, kind of? I don't know.
I mean,
architecture
what does that have to do with the budget of the movie, though?
No, but outside of the plot of the movie, just look at that villa. That's a fucking huge ass... I thought the house, whatever you want to call it, was beautiful.
So
Definitely a $1 million house.
Your next had possibly a bigger, if not the same size house. $1.5 million less. So
I also compared it to our first episode, Saw, which was only $1 million, and they had multiple filming locations. This was in one spot the whole time with two actors. More than two actors. Sure. But I don't know where they put the money. That's all I'm gonna say.
Danny Glover. They had the dude from Princess Bride. Never can remember his name.
Yeah, they must have got a deal on that one. You know what I'm saying? When the movie opened, so if everything I researched was correct, I mean, if the audience wants to shout through the fucking microphone and tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. But from everything that I've read, it only premiered in 4 to 6 theaters worldwide. But that doesn't make sense to me, considering it made $5 million worldwide. I feel like it would have been in more theaters than that, right? Or am I tripping?
Yeah. Unless it was a direct-to-video, which...
It could be taking into account that. Yeah, that's actually true. And now it's earning, what do they call it? Royalties and stuff from being on Shudder and being streamed and stuff, so...
Yeah.
But...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by the budget. That being said, it was a 2-person director.
Yeah.
Yep. Also 2-person writer. They both co-wrote and co-directed the movie together. My French isn't the best, so I'm gonna try to pronounce their names as accurately as I can. But David Moreau and Xavier Palude.
Sure, couldn't have said it any better.
That's how I'm gonna say it. They wrote and directed it. They also, for a little bit of an older audience, around my age, they also wrote and directed it together, co-wrote, well, maybe not wrote, they co-directed, I think it's called The Eye with Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
Oh.
And, yeah, I've never seen the movie, but I know of the movie.
It's the American version. Really? So I'm the only one who's seen that movie.
Is it pretty good or what?
My mom rented the movie expecting that it was the Japanese version, which is notorious. So we were quite disappointed. It's still a decent flick. It's still
classic mistake though. Classic mistake.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to watch that though.
Yeah,
just because. I guess we'll just get into why. So first, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to talk about what we thought of the movie, likes, dislikes. We're going to save our rating for the end of the cast. But Georgie, how about you start us up? What did you think of the movie?
I thought there were some really, really good parts. Genuinely, like, especially Clementine. I really loved the girl power at some instances. Like when after Lucas got injured and she just totally took the bull by the horns. That was really cool. So I really appreciated that. But to be fair, I've seen movies do a lot of the stuff that this movie did in the past. So there were some instances to me that it was a little predictable. But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially watching it a second time.
What about you, Ian?
I thought, watching this, that it was the most basic a horror movie can get. Just basic horror. Just people entering your home, and you don't know their intentions. And that's about all I want to get into that.
So I agree with you, Georgie. I thought there were some cool chick power moments. I think she made a lot of stupid decisions toward the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, everybody's human. We all make dumb decisions. It's really easy to say what we would do in these circumstances and not being in them. But I saw the movie twice. I watched it once this morning as well, and I have to say I actually enjoyed it more the first time around, or the second time around. I'm sorry. So the first time I went in blind, and from a lot of things I've read, people were saying that's how you should go into this movie, and I'm glad I did. But seeing it a second time and knowing the killers were kids kind of added I don't know, like I actually liked knowing that and then rewatching that because it adds a different element to it rather than just thinking it's just a bunch of random dudes or dudettes. You know what I'm saying?
Kinda.
Overall, yeah. I mean, to me, I'm just saying to me, I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to. I did like a lot of shots they did, especially in the beginning. I think the title sequence was done really cool.
Yes,
I
I totally agree.
I like the shots, like the wide shots of the car driving through the city, and he did a lot of like on the roof shots. It looked like because I don't know if he was using. It didn't look like using a drone, but it like attached to the roof and kind of panning as the car drives by. But I thought it went well with the soundtrack. I like the theme, the piano theme that plays throughout the movie. Um, it's kind of creepy, but also like I don't know. It's kind of beautiful. Um, I enjoyed the movie. I have to agree with Ian as well too. It's very on the nose, typical home invasion movie. But I did enjoy it a second time around more. That being said, what the fuck is this movie based on real events or not?
I tried to do a little bit of research. Everything was different in every single website. It might be an Austrian couple that went to somewhere else in Europe and got killed by kids. That might have happened in real life. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, so pretty much the only thing I read is, I mean, the movie starts out in the beginning with the mom and the daughter driving down the dark deserted road of I think it was Snagov in Romania, and it's being so like it starts out saying based on real events. I looked it up. I could not find anything on that besides what you said, like nothing on it. And towards the end of the movie, it talks about like the interrogation of the killers and all this kind of stuff, which it presents itself as in like this is like documented interrogation footage of what they said kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like nothing. Just nothing anywhere. So it's kind of weird. Like, can't they like get in trouble for this? Or like I don't know. Apparently not, but I just don't know like what stipulation there is to like starting a movie out saying based on real events and it not being based on real events whatsoever. Like a cash grab? Is it like I don't know. Is it trying to set a tone? What do you guys think?
I mean, has that
No
not been done before?
I'm sure it has.
Yeah,
But probably based on actual true events.
I don't really, even if it's based on true events, it's fabricated in a sense to make it more appealing for Hollywood normally. Like they
Yes,
add
Obviously.
a tiny little something to give it flair, apart from what actually happened.
So I guess we should just start with the the intro here. Plot points: a mother and daughter drive alone through a deserted country road at night while having an argument. They crash their vehicle. The mother goes out to check the engine but disappears. Daughter calls out for help way too many times, in my opinion. Um, she says mother
For
probably
real.
65 times in that
For real.
2
I
minute
didn't even
scene.
take note of that, but you saying that right now, it's yeah.
The daughter attempts to call the police, gets put on hold, and
I mean, it's not funny,
and
but you know,
and then
it's a movie. It's a movie. It is
yeah.
funny.
I don't know if that's just like an American thing to where we have enough people to like answer the calls when 911 is done, like immediate response. Are there countries that don't have like an immediate response like call line for like emergencies?
Apparently.
I have no idea.
It was more of a rhetorical question.
Oh, okay, well.
But anyway, the daughter gets strangled to death, and what'd you guys think about that whole shit?
I have a question,
Oh,
actually.
let's hear it. Let's hear the question, Georgie.
What do you think the kids were throwing on the window,
Shit.
like of the cars? That's what I thought, but then I was also like, maybe it's like her mother's guts.
It was mud.
Oh,
It
it was
I
mud.
was
Yeah,
it
it
was
was mud.
Okay, well,
because it was raining. It was 100% mud.
The first time I saw it, though, I thought the same thing. I was like, "Damn, that's brutal." Are they like cutting her up and throwing the fucking heart at the
That would
window?
be
Like, that
awesome.
would have been rad. That would have been rad. But no,
Maybe
that's
next
not what
time.
happened. Maybe next on the sequel, The Strangers.
Maybe I'm talking to the kids right now. Who knows?
It's true. It's true. They apparently exist and not exist at the same time. So
I'd like for that to be real. I just want to get that out there. I would like for this story to be real.
that's
why is that?
kind of a crappy thing to
Yeah,
say.
Yeah.
What? Well, it's
I
over
wish
and done,
this
right?
had actually happened to two people who were tormented and feared for their lives.
Happened.
It still
You know, so we can
happened.
spread awareness on
That's like
little
saying
kids being
that's
evil.
like saying that's like saying I kind of wish the Holocaust happened, only because it happened. Because it happened. It's past tense. It's past tense.
A little different there, but
I rest my case. So the next day we start off with the opening sequence, and I was briefly touching on that. The whole drive. I did a little research just out of curiosity.
oh,
So she works. Where did she work? She worked at
an
I think
orphanage.
No, it was an academy.
It was Bucharest, and that's in like downtown area where she was at. And Snagoff is where the first murders that we saw took place in Romania, and it's about a 23 miles from where she worked. So she drove into work. It's about a 44-minute drive. I was just trying to look at the geography of the whole thing because I was trying to pinpoint like where the murders happened and why she was in that location, and because she did pass by the car where the people died on the way home. So
Yeah,
That was pretty neat.
yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. You got anything, Ian?
No.
I mean,
No.
we can continue down the plot.
It's really short. It's I mean that was like
it-
a microcosm of this entire movie. Like sure, it starts out with them coming home, or her coming home from work, him pretending to be writing, even though he was playing pinball on his laptop.
Let's just talk about that game for a second because I used to have that game.
You
I think
did.
Yeah, I think
Ooh.
I think it used to just come like preloaded on like a bunch of like Windows computers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had it too.
Yeah.
I'd never played pinball on my computer ever in my life.
That's
I mean, it's not
upsetting a little.
crazy, but
Sure. I mean,
No,
yeah,
it's
I'm
not
not saying
crazy,
it's
but
crazy. I'm just saying I never had that experience. So I'm missing out.
The whole movie was shot within this, I guess what like Georgie was trying to say, like a villa, um, like a outskirt home, pretty huge home.
Huge.
Yeah.
Say that again. Yeah, especially for the two of them. Like, what are they doing?
I'd be kind of freaked out if I lived in a house that big with just one other person personally, but I don't know.
They had a lot of rooms that they didn't explore in the movie, which is a shame.
It's because the cast and the set were living out of it, apparently.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It's a true little fact. One of the reasons why they picked that house out is because it was cheap enough to literally bring like the entire film crew in, and they just worked out of the house. Like everybody slept in there overnight. It took 30 days to film the movie, so for a month they all essentially lived together in the home.
Wow.
I think
Yeah,
that's probably what the cost was. The 30 days.
Yeah, but that's just like 1 month of rent there. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
true.
Like,
but you have to pay the cast and crew for every hour they work, and you have to give them food,
$2.35 billion budget, dude.
yeah, I guess. I mean, I wonder how much that place was out to rent for.
Maybe
for
Zillow will tell us.
Yeah, you can't find anything on this movie. It's all speculation. This entire movie is speculation.
I like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
An older movie, kind of you know nothing about. You can't find anything.
So I thought the dynamic between the two characters was like the first time I watched it, I thought it was whatever, but the second time I watched it, I kind of found it a little more familiar. I like when he asked her to bring wine home. She gets home. He has the food cooked for her already. Well, not already actually, because she brought the food home. But he cooks dinner for her. But she is obviously not feeling it, and she's doing like these subtle jabs at him. And he knows that she's doing it. Like he's grinning back at her. But like I thought the playful relationship of the two characters was cool.
Sorry, but speaking of playful, look at Dougie rolling around back there.
He's just listening to the cast, just hanging out.
So cute.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I really liked their relationship, actually. It felt really genuine, even though some of the shit that Lucas did really pissed me off. I was like, why are you going out of your house that is locked and potentially maybe safe and leaving your woman behind?
You mean when she asked him to go check on it?
It was the car.
No, she didn't even ask him. He was just like, I'll go check, I'll go look. And she literally tried to shut the door to stop him, and he was like, don't be silly, let me check. And then she was like, okay. But I
live in the
really
middle of nowhere.
I wouldn't be down with that. That's another thing. I live in the middle of nowhere, and if I heard strange noises at night, I would not be down. I would not investigate. I would call 911. That's actually happened before. I heard some girl screaming bloody murder walking down my road once. She was screaming for help, and it was so bizarre, and we called the cops, and the cops came and took care of it. It was so firsthand experience would not investigate.
I think I would. I think I would investigate.
Well, your balls are bigger than mine. Congratulations.
No, they're probably not, but I would probably go out and investigate because I mean, if we're living in the middle of nowhere, first of all, let me just go out and say that if I lived in this location, I don't know what the gun laws are like in Romania. Is it Romania?
Yeah.
But I would try to have some kind of weapon on me, first of all. I mean, that being said, like even if it's a baseball bat or a stick or a fucking knife,
he had the fire poker.
Well, that he got later.
Yeah, it was always there.
That's true. Good point. Good point. It is always there. He could have picked it up on the way out, but
I would have. Yeah, weapon up.
Yeah, 100%.
I think, given the setting, where your emergency services put you on hold, I'd go check it out. I'd go check it out for sure, as well.
Can I just mention how I don't like the way they both treat their dog?
They have a dog?
I don't think it was their dog.
You don't think so?
No, I think it was a stray dog that just lived in the area and they would feed it because he told it to leave. He was like, "Go on now, get
Oh
away."
yeah.
Well, that's what I didn't like is I thought that was their dog, and he's like, "Well, here's your food. Get the fuck out of here. You fucking." And I'm like, "Whoa, let him
Yeah,
inside."
Some people
no.
have outside dogs.
That
Which
actually makes
I don't
more
agree with.
sense, though.
But
I mean, I think outside dogs are a thing, and I think inside dogs are a thing. But
I don't know. Shouldn't-
I'm sorry, he's running Circle 8's behind you right now.
that is an example of a crazy inside dog. So, and it's funny, while he's doing that, Sophie is literally just sleeping next to me. Like she's
Oh,
chilling, and he's just literally being a psychopath behind me.
how is she?
She's not doing great. She's not doing
Oh,
great. I mean, she's recovering, but she's on
yeah.
meds and stuff, so she's passed out half the time.
Oh, poor baby.
I know, but she'll be all right. Yeah. Um.
So I'll take a
So
drink for Sophie.
okay, let's all take a drink, Mitch. This is a little cutoff point. I'm just grabbing something real quick because I don't have anything in the room. Here.
Hey, this is Charlie, Triple C, from Brevity Box, a new and interesting podcast from the Ruminations Radio Network. If you're a fan of podcasts, we have a lot of great content to offer. Come check out our diverse group of podcasts and hosts at ruminationsradionetwork.com.
The next day, Clementine passes the crashed vehicle. We already went over that. You know what? Let's skip ahead.
Yeah, we were at the
so
bad food. He just cranked that
night
thing into the sink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeets it. Eats all of it into the sink.
Never mind, I'm not gonna go there. That night, she's awakened by music outside. She investigates with her boyfriend Lucas and see that their car has been moved away from the house. As Lucas approaches it, the car is driven off. That was a red flag.
Yeah.
Lucas then finds the TV on and the tap water running.
Oh, that pissed me off, man. I just want to say real fast.
Just wasting so much water.
Yeah, you're right, Ian. Way to be environmentally aware. I'm proud.
I agree.
But
I agree.
also, when he turned the TV off, I was like, why the fuck are you doing that? You're literally giving them your location.
I thought the same thing.
That is so aggravating. Why? Okay, continue.
We already know we can't cook. Georgie.
Yeah, and he plays pinball. I mean, this guy's a one-hit wonder.
His brain is gone, dude. You're right.
Plays pinball. He doesn't take a weapon outside. I mean, he just sets off every trap that the killers set for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Killers.
So far, not so great. You know what I'm saying? So they get inside. I guess we should automatically assume that because they would have had to have gotten her car keys to move the car to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when she calls the police. When she calls the police, she says, she was like, they were in my house.
Yeah.
So she fell asleep at like 1:30 and woke up to the music at 3:30 a.m. So there was a 2-hour span where either they weren't there, which they probably didn't get there right away, but they were probably planning to do something, obviously.
Yeah.
At what point they went inside to get the keys, I'm not sure, but do we remember if she locked the door on the way inside, or do we just figure that they found a way to break in somehow?
I don't remember either, truthfully, but from what I took, this is probably not correct, but it's an inclination that I had while I was viewing. But at the end of her whole bath sequence and getting in bed and trying to calm down and, go to sleep, it zooms in on the window in their bedroom.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a different scene, and that to me, because of the sound effects, kind of made it sound like that window was open.
Well, I mean, it cuts to her waking up at 3:30 a.m., but I mean, if they would have climbed that shit, got inside of her window, got through her door. Let's also just point out that her bedroom door is like fucking jamming and jammed and stuff. So I don't know if that was open or closed or not, but they would have made some noise getting out of there if it was. I think it was open though.
I don't think it was jammed until she broke the doorknob off on accident when the people were trying to break into the bedroom, which was way after. she woke up.
Well, neither here or there. They got inside the house.
Yeah.
These are some crafty little kids. They know how to fucking cut the electricity of homes, and
Yeah.
they have like fucking CQC fighting skills, and yeah, little nuts. So he eventually goes to investigate the noises outside. He finds one of them. He swings the poker at the intruder and shatters the door glass, his leg getting impaled by a large shard in the process.
So he injured himself.
Yeah.
Can't cook.
Yep.
Gives away his position.
Yep. Doesn't carry a weapon outside.
Injures himself.
Probably a bad lay, in my opinion, if we're just, if we're stretching for it.
I mean, you're not wrong. It looked like she did all of the work.
So, yeah, I mean, if we're just stretching now, just reaching, then yeah, I'm just going to go with it. He and Clementine lock themselves in the upstairs bathroom. Clementine climbs into the attic to find an escape route. And this is where we find, I'm not sure which killer. So one of the kids had that little twisty thing that makes the noise throughout the movie. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I heard that in the attic. So
he was at the end of the movie, though.
Right. But he was also, one of the killers throughout the movie as well. So I'm pretty sure I heard that noise in the attic.
I'm not saying you're wrong, because you could totally be right. I heard something similar to the noise, but the only reason why I argue that might not be accurate is because didn't he die when he fell out of a 3-story window?
So there was 2 of them. Well, more than 2 of them, but
Georgie.
Was there 2 of them that had that spinny thing?
No, but I mean, one of them had it at the beginning, and one of them had it at the end.
Yeah.
Whether it was the same one, we don't know, I guess.
True,
but,
that could be. Yeah, you could be right. Yeah.
Kill.
Like I said, it's all speculation. This whole movie's speculation.
Exactly.
So we get into the kill. At first, I thought it was going to pan away. Does she kick him or push him? Doesn't matter. He falls down. At first, I thought it was going to do that classic horror move where she looks down and he's there and comes back, and then she looks back and he's gone. Yeah. But no, you saw the blood just dripping out of his body, and I was like, all right, one down.
Hell yeah.
And then one of them starts climbing up the fucking side of the building to chase her, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. These kids, man. They make for good killers, for sure. And then she goes back down to help her hubby.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were taking control for a second.
No.
Just speaking about the kids, I want to get into a little off-topic conversation real quick. So I stole a little quote from an old article from when this movie originally came out, written by Matt Seitz, I want to say his name is. He writes for the New York Times. And he says, and I quote, "When the filmmakers relent and allow the threat to become visible, it's a letdown. While ambiguity is box office poison, you wish that the directors, Mr. Moreau and Mr. Palud, held on as long as possible. Mystery is the marrow of horror." Do you think that showing these hooded figures and not letting it play out till the end of like what's chasing them or what's going after them was a mistake?
I don't think it was a mistake necessarily, but I think it was a choice. Does that make sense? Like, I can't say whether or not the movie would have done better or worse if it had been different, but would I have enjoyed it more personally? Yes.
Why?
If I hadn't known until the very end that it was children that had been tormenting and murdering these people, it would have been totally different. I would have absorbed the material of the movie completely different, just because once they reveal who it is so early, especially if it's kids, like that to me is kind of out of left field. Like, you keep arguing that it's kind of like the strangers, And to be fair, I don't think I saw the first one. I saw one of the later ones. But I don't think it was kids that was doing it in the one that I saw. So seeing
No, it
kids,
wasn't.
yeah, so seeing kids being the perpetrator of disaster and not knowing it until the very end where you see them walking to the school bus to go to school and you hear the noise from the toy, that would have been a total mindfuck.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't know they were. I think his quote kind of partially cuts through like halfway of the film when like they show the hooded figures. Like one shot in particular that I personally liked and that stood out was when Lucas. That's his name, right? I
Yeah.
already forgot his name. He's so fucking dumb. Uh, when Lucas is running back to the room where Clementine was at, and he's running down the hallway, and the shot is from Clementine's perspective through the crack of the door, and you see him running, and there's nothing behind him, and then she swings it open to let him in, and then right when she swings it back closed, you see him standing there. It
Yeah.
like he enters the frame within like the door frame, the frame of the shot. He enters the frame of the shot with the changing of the door frame, and I thought that was a really cool scene. But even then, it didn't look like a child to me,
No, definitely not.
because I think they said that the one of them is supposed to be like as old as like 15 years old, so he could
Yeah,
look, he could have the figure of like a like a young adult for sure.
yeah.
What about you, Ian?
Honestly, the video quality was so bad that I couldn't tell that they were kids until they got into the sewers. And I think that reveal, when I knew they were kids in the sewers, kept me going through the movie. So, sure, it would have been a cool ending, cool review or reveal, but it kept me going. That was kind of a, you know,
Yeah,
was
I
a
kind of
booster.
yeah, like I think that goes back to what I'm saying is like I enjoyed it the second time more because I knew they were kids. It like I almost wish there was a mix they could have done of keeping it. I mean, I guess there couldn't have been, but like if they would have doubled down on the kid thing, I don't know if that would have made it like better or worse. Like showing from the beginning, like that they were young
Oh,
kids.
I thought you meant like cheaper by the dozen, get a hell of a lot of kids in this bitch.
I mean, we could have gone Children of the Corn situation on it and had like 27 kids in that house. That would have been that might have been dope too, but I don't know. So yeah, that's interesting. But the pair limp into the woods, only to encounter a fence. His one and only weakness, right? A fence. But due to his injury, Lucas cannot climb over it. He hides in the bushes as Clementine heads for help. She sees the light from the two flashlights and realizes the intruders are catching up to her. She finds her car but is confronted by the intruders. Lucas hears Clementine's screams and finds the car. He kills one of the attackers and discovers it is a teenage boy.
So that's 2 kids done.
This is
2
number
kids down.
2. And I think
Oh my god.
this is also the point in the movie where you finally realize that
They
they're
were
younger.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of reflects that in like his eyes, like his whole facial expression when he sees him is like, "What the fuck?" He follows Clementine's screams and finds a manhole in the sewers. Clementine is being tortured by another teenager while a younger boy sits nearby, telling the torturer to stop. This part was a little confusing my first viewing. Also a little confusing my second viewing. Why do you think the little kid was telling her to stop only to, in the end, be like, "Fuck
Backstabber
it."
again.
Because he's
No
a
idea.
kid?
No idea.
I
And
mean, but in theory, that they got to be killing people this whole time, right?
he
So, like,
wanted to
what?
play. That was the whole argument. Let's play. Play with me. He was just fucking yanking her leg.
Do you think he was yanking her leg, or do you think this is more of just like we're
No, it
dealing
was
with some
like
actual like
cold-blooded
mental problems,
murder. Yeah.
like mental
Yeah,
problems?
those kids need to be locked up for life, for sure.
Hmm.
But this is the part of the movie where I got reeled back in, because at this point I was like, damn, this is just such a generic kind kind of cat and mouse movie. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm gonna watch it, but I can't do it. And then they went into underground, like kind of a catacombs looking sewers. And I was like, damn, all right, okay. It's ramping up. I can see a cool ending coming out of this.
I hate to go back real quick, but I'm going to.
Do it.
There was a shot when she's running through the forest from a side shot. It reminded me a lot of Suspiria. Like a lot. Like the side pan of her running through the forest looked a lot like that. And I also thought the shot of her running through the forest, and it almost looked like, because I don't think that they were out yet. I could be wrong, but it looked like a GoPro was almost like attached to her, like just pointed in towards her while she was running, because the camera was very like with the movement of her. So I think a camera was hooked up on her. But that shot was kind of cool to me too. We get into like the final act. So the little kid's like, no. He comes in, Lucas comes in and gets another kill.
It's 3 kids
I mean,
down.
his body count's good, you know? Like at least he can kill a kid, you know? At least he can kill a kid.
Out of context, that's so fucked up.
Well, that's why you gotta listen to the whole episode, Georgie. Lucas kills the teenager, and with the younger boy's help, the two escape through the sewer system. The boy turns on them and Clementine and watches in horror as Lucas is dragged away. This part is the one part where I was like, Clementine, what the fuck are you doing?
She's watching him.
Yeah, you're like
a little kid kicking.
You're like 1 foot above him. Get down and kick that motherfucking kid in the face.
Lucas has already killed 3 kids.
Yeah.
3 for you.
Yeah, this part
with an injured leg. And you can't just kick a kid in the face. You don't have to kill him. Just kick him in the face.
Dude, and that kid was wailing on Lucas for a good half hour.
Yeah.
On the staircase. Like, she had plenty of time to just, like she was already in foot's reach. Like, she could have just, like, right in the back of the head, just kicked him.
Yeah.
No. Just sits there and watches it happen. This part bugged me. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Where's your girl power now, Georgie?
Like I said, we're all human, you know? We're all human.
Y'all were just saying how shitty Lucas
I knew she couldn't. I knew she couldn't.
No, I take back.
I knew she had to say one. I knew she had to say something. I was waiting for it.
Wouldn't you want her to let him die anyway? Release the baggage. But also, I'm not saying that she couldn't have just decked that kid in the face, because she totally could have.
So their KD right now is Lucas 2.0, or 2.0, and Clementine 1.0. So
it's true. It's true. Lucas does have the better body count. I mean, just saying. If we're keeping track, which I mean, I don't, you know. So Lucas kills the teenager with the young boy's help. The two escape through the sewer system. The boy turns on Clementine like we saw. Lucas is dragged away. As she's about to kill the boy, he asks, "Why won't you play with us?"
Creepy little boy.
I wanted to see his head crushed by the rock. I really did.
Me too. I was like, why the fuck are you hesitating? Stomp that child.
Out of everything that they just went through, I feel like it could be easy to kill that kid, but at the same time, to smash a little kid's head with a rock I bet, like, it's still, like, it's fight or flight. Like,
if you saw Dom get her fingers crushed by some shitty little kid who then had his amigos drag her away to do God knows what, you wouldn't smash his head in with a rock.
Well, here's the first thing. It wouldn't have even led to the rock, because the kid wouldn't have made it up the ladder, because I would have kicked him off of it. So we wouldn't even be in this situation.
It's true.
But if we're keeping track here, if that happened, yeah, I would have inevitably done it. It's either me or them. Like, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me.
And to die by the hand of a child, like, that's embarrassing.
Exactly. Oh my god. Yo, but how
I feel like I could just face palm the guy and like he can't run at me. He's just taking swings.
No,
You know what I'm
yeah, like you're about to get yeeted off the earth by an 8-year-old. I think the fuck not.
It's a double-edged sword here.
Let's hear it.
You can either kill a 10-year-old or get killed by a 10-year-old.
Either way, it's a thing. I would kill a 10-year-old. I'm sorry. I would kill a 10-year-old. A 10-year-old's dust in the wind, bro. Dust in the wind.
Oh my god, this is not what Elton John wanted.
I would have took the boot of my shoe and just firmly planted it on his forehead and just kicked him off that ladder. And then I would have probably jumped down and just beat the shit out of both of them, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We're taking a long time on this kid beating.
I mean, we're just saying what everybody's thinking, you know? We're just saying
reminds me of Children of the Corn. I love rooting against little kids. Love when you get to root against little kids.
So she inevitably runs away, and she gets to just like such a moment in movies where you're just like so close yet so far kind of scenario. Like you're there, you're right there. And I thought it's been done before. They did it with the whole door sequence by showing the killer with the changing of, shit passing through the camera. But I loved how the cars were driving by and she was screaming for help. And then when the one car passed, she was just gone.
Yeah. It was a really good ending. Really, really good ending.
This goes back to your love for Korean movies where everything ends on a bad note, right?
Exactly what I was thinking. Yep.
I honestly think if I had it my way, if I was a director and I'm not, so I kudos to them for making their shit. But if this was my movie, I would have ended the movie when it went to black right there. I wouldn't have shown the kids walking out of the forest. I wouldn't have shown them getting on the bus. I would have faded to black right there, and then I would have shown their dialogue that they did, like during a black screen. That's what I would have done. So, do you guys have any thoughts on the end of the movie? I personally think that I would have ended it with that. It fades to black, or not even fades. It just cuts to black so like perfectly. And I agree. I like the dark shit where you're always like wondering what happened or blah 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 blah. And it could have. I think it would have had a stronger impact personally. But what do you guys think?
For me, it didn't really change anything. It had the same outcome. Either ending would have been fine. I think it would have. I think it would have been. It would have had a slight edge. If it ended with her just after the car.
And then it just fades to black.
Yeah. With the dialogue.
And the 10-year-old boy. So let's actually. Well, actually, Georgie, do you have anything to comment on that end scene?
I would have to agree with Ian that it could have gone either way for me, truthfully. I do agree that it would have had more of an edge if it had just kind of ended after she got yanked away. But either way, same outcome.
I mean, outcome and journey are two different things, though. You know what I'm saying? The journey could have been better. But another quote from the New York Times, because they're one of the only people to comment on this movie when it released. I think this kind of sums up what it is pretty well. And I quote by my man Matt Seitz. If you're out here, dude, who knew
we're here for Matt Seitz again?
Matt Seitz again. And Matt, let me tell you, we're big fans of your work. Actually, I've never read anything from you except for this, but you probably never knew that almost 20 years later, people would be talking about your quotes on a podcast. So I just want to let you know that we're out here and we're listening to you. So Matt, he quotes, "It's not an allegory, a satire, or a commentary. It's just a modestly relentless suspense picture that propels its characters through a series of dreamscapes. A haunted house, a spooky forest, a dungeon of sorts. A large part of its effectiveness stems from the initially inscrutable nature of the threat." So he kind of said what you touched on, that we all kind of touched on. It's a run-of-the-mill, they throw their characters through the typical spooky forest, the crazy sewer dungeon, it's just the main pro of this movie is not knowing the motives of the killers and like what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, he hit it on the head, obviously. I mean, yeah,
And then we get
right up.
into the Matt. We're here for you. We hope you're still a good person.
Yeah, I hope he's not
And then
racist.
I hope he's not either. God, that would suck. Uh, so then we get into the scenes where the kids are walking to the bus stop, hopping on the bus to go eat their chicken nuggets, and
What
the
weird
quote
bus.
says, 5 days after the events, the bodies of Clementine Savour and Lucas Medvik were found by the police. After the investigation, the murderers were arrested in the Snagoff region. They were between the ages of 10 and 15. During the first interrogation, the youngest amongst them declared they wouldn't play with us as a motive. And that wraps up them. 2006.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's oh, okay. So in The Strangers, when the one of the killers first knocks and she's like, "Is Deborah home, or can she come out and play?" Something like that. I wonder if that's kind of a nod to them, like a
I
hard
didn't think
nod.
about that. I didn't think about that. That's actually kind of cool. I mean, what year did Strangers come out?
Just was 2009, 2010. I want to say.
Either way, it was after this, right?
Yeah, yeah. Solely based on this movie.
Are you sure about that?
100%. 100%.
Okay, so they based it off of this. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Or the
That's
events, or the quote events.
or the events that never took place. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Either way, I think if we want to cap this off, with we can go into our ratings first, or like, is there anything else you want to touch on, Ian or Georgie?
I just want to note that this was kind of in like the renaissance of French horror, with movies like High Tension, Inside, and Martyrs around the same years, within like 5 years, all coming out at the same time. So this was a good couple years to be French, a French horror fan. Sorry.
Do you have any French horror movies or like thrillers or anything that you enjoy? Because I know I've seen other French movies here there, but like I cannot like pinpoint a single one that's like must watch.
I'm severely lacking, unfortunately, because I've only seen two now, Them and Martyrs, and those have been great, great not little, but great movies, great French movies, very bloody, gory, yeah, good stuff. But Martyrs would be my suggestion. It's a little heavy, but if you like Saw or Hostel or movies like that, you should definitely give Martyrs a try. You would love it.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll check it out. I think that's the whole French genre. I think is one particular area where I just have little knowledge of and
Yeah.
experience. So maybe maybe I'm gonna start. Maybe I'll do the whole Ian route and do the top 10 French horror movies. Just give the old Google,
I actually had a posting on Reddit, which was my highest commented and liked post on Reddit. I asked, "What's everyone's favorite French movie?" And it had like 50 comments. I got like 100 likes on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a weird flex, but cool. So I guess we can go around the table. Has everybody thought of their out of 100% rating this movie? Because I haven't, but I'm kind of calculating it in my head right now as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of calculating it. I'm gonna say I did enjoy the movie. Sorry, I'm just brainstorming out loud here for the audience to listen to. I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Would you guys add it to your collection?
Yes. If I could find a Blu-ray that's not European, yeah, I would. I would add it to my collection today.
Today, he wouldn't waste any time, folks.
No.
He would add it right now.
I tried to add Martyrs, and turned out that was region locked. So
Yeah, Martyrs. I want to say I've fucking seen that movie. It sounds the
If you've
name.
seen it, you would know.
Okay, I'm not gonna pretend to know on the podcast, but like
Yeah.
I could have sworn I've seen a movie called Martyrs, but it might have not been a French movie. I don't know.
There is an American version of Martyrs as well.
I might have seen it. But neither here or there.
Yeah, I'd 100% add it to my collection.
I thought you were gonna say I would give it 100%. I was like,
No, not a million years. I want to hear, Georgie, would you add it to your collection?
No.
why not?
Because I have it on Shudder, dude. I can just stream it whenever I want.
She's a part of that digital age.
Yeah, but when it goes away from Shudder, what are you gonna do then? Like, because you won't have it.
That's okay. It'll live in my memories.
Yeah, but the whole point of having a collection is to flex on people when they come over.
Yeah, but that's not a movie that I really want to be part of.
Fair enough.
Not that it's not good. I did thoroughly enjoy it. It's just that I don't care enough about it to display it on my shelf.
I
I respect
have
that.
A copy of Strangers and Them, just to have like a double feature.
That would be
That'd
cool.
be a great night.
Yeah, that's cool. But to own one singularly, I would say no.
Okay.
Phil, you?
Because I can't say yes, I'm just gonna say no. Because it's not like an immediate yes. Like when I want something in my collection, I'm like, yeah, I want that. Like I want to own it. So if I had to give an answer, I'd say no. But I mean, would I mind if it was in my collection? No, not at all.
Relatable,
I mean, yeah, like if it happened to be like a present, or like if I can get a banging deal on it, I'd buy it.
Sure.
But I mean, then again, it's probably not that expensive anyway. So
I
guess I'm just gonna say no. Like I don't need it in my collection. Do I want it in my collection? Sure. Do I need it in my collection? Nah, I don't need it in my collection. It's more of a want than a need. So
okay.
That being said, I kind of have my Rotten Tomato score formulated a little bit, but I want to hear from Ian first.
Why me?
Because I just do.
All right, well.
I want to say that to me, if it was any longer, it might have gotten a worse review. But because it was so short, I could almost get in and out without it affecting me too much. But that's also a negative. Because I don't think it stayed with me long enough. I don't think it affected me enough.
Okay.
I don't think it had that much of an impact on me. Which is a huge downside. So I'm almost rating it higher because it was shorter, just because I didn't get enough. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I did enjoy it for what it was, and I thought it had some cool shots. I don't like how they toyed and played with the true events thing. Whether or not it's real or not, I couldn't tell you. And because I can't tell you, it makes me a little annoyed about how they kind of like set that up. I'm gonna go ahead and give my review a 58%.
Okay, so that's an F.
I know it's an F in the traditional sense, but you have to understand a 58%. See, our minds are a little different. Like a 58% to me is still watchable. I know in the traditional sense it means like an F+, but I compare it to so many other movies, and maybe that's the problem. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't compare it to other movies. I should, I should let it stand on its own, but at the same time, that's there's better ways to do things, and we've seen those, better ways to do them, and because of that, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore the other work, and
you're not wrong. I mean, I've gotten.
Come back to me.
Oh, so right now,
come back to me. If anybody else has anything to say, let's do it now. So,
Georgie.
Well, I was gonna go off of your score. I've gotten Fs on exams before and still passed the class, so I totally get what you mean by saying that it's watchable. Like, That's just the way that it is. And I wouldn't necessarily say that my rating is really that much higher than yours is, truthfully. There were some specific aspects of the movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. There were some that I've seen done over and over again. And to an extent, there's only so much that I can take of seeing the same concept. No matter
Home
how
invasion.
differently it's no matter how differently it's played out, I can only handle so much of it before it's all kind of the same, So
I agree.
Gotta give credit where credit is due, but I would probably say I would give it like a 63%.
Okay.
It was enjoyable, and I don't regret watching it. I watched it twice. I definitely liked it more the second time around, just like you, maybe for different reasons, but it tied a lot of things together. But I don't necessarily know how highly I would recommend it, other than to tell people to get into French or
strangers. I think, like I agree with everything you just said. Like literally everything you just said, I agree with. And the curiosity of this movie only piqued to me because they said it's what The Strangers was based off of. And I don't think The Strangers is by far a masterpiece or anything, but I like to see origin points, and I like to see I like to see the foundation of something, which is why I like older movies as well, because I like to see what current movies do, or what, just how things evolve and how things work. And that's why I really wanted to see this movie, because I wanted to see the ideas that maybe The Strangers may not have took, or the ideas, the real life events, quote unquote, that they got it off of, which again, that plays a huge thing into my factor of not liking the movie as much as I probably could have. I feel like I was duped a little bit. Ian, what you got for me, man?
Well, I got my score for you. If I want to watch another movie, or if I can watch that movie again, it's automatically a 60 for me. I deem that a watchable score, a rewatchable score. It had a great ending. The fact that there were kids is a plus. The fact that it was a cookie cutter home invasion story was a minus. It was an enjoyable watch. Nothing to cry home about. Give it a 64.
64.
Yep.
Awesome. So after listening to you guys, and I'm just gonna say that you guys both make some pretty good points. I'm gonna give it a 39. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stick with my 58. I'm gonna stick with my 50.
That's fair.
That's my yeah.
Stick with your gut. You're normally right the first time you answer.
Yeah, that's my gut. My gut's 58, and like I said, I'm a little bit more forgiving with horror movies. It's not like a mental thing that I have, that I always give horror movies a 5 to 10 point score higher in my mind, which is sometimes the case, most of the time the case, but in this I would honestly probably give it a 58. So that's where we're gonna leave it. This has been another episode of Ruminations of Redrum, Them 2006. I'm your host, Kyle, with a K. We have Georgie.
Goodbye.
She said goodbye. And we have Ian without an E.
Peace out, homies.
No E.
Thanks for listening.
Stay spooky.